What does the church do in its purest form? Historically, it has provided a sanctuary for worship, taught about the love of God through Jesus Christ, met the needs of the community around it, feeding, clothing, and caring for the neighborhood. It has developed and strengthened the family of God, establishing the kingdom of heaven here on earth. And it has provided rituals that help us mark, celebrate, and understand our lives. We see this in the rituals of baptism, First Communion, confirmation, weddings, and funerals. For centuries, the Church has helped us mark time in our quest for meaning and consistency in life. Though, in the modern era, more individuals are piecemealing religious experiences together, to the point that the times people find themselves in church might only be weddings and funerals, if not only funerals. There is a ministry here. It's great. It is always a joy to celebrate love or life with a community of people. Though only finding oneself in a religious community on these days does not provide the foundation or support that can be so critical, so appreciated, and so helpful after a committal, when the cards and the calls stop, and when we long to remember. And this brings us to today, All Saints Sunday, the day we remember those who we love that have completed their life's work and entered the kingdom eternal. Loved ones who have left an impact on our hearts, on our lives, and on our souls. There are two long-standing rituals the Church offers to help us commemorate and celebrate those who are no longer in the room. One is to light a candle in remembrance of a loved one. The other is that during the prayers, a list of names be read, names of those lost in the last year, and others that live in our hearts. And after each name is read, there is a chime. And if that note, that tone sounds a little familiar, it's because it's an A. The same A that is the dial tone on a landline phone. A tone I'm sure you know well, as do I. A tone that is the sound of anticipation, of hope, and of excitement. Growing up in the small town of Fremont, North Carolina, the world seemed really far away from me in a lot of ways. The television was fun because it was like a window into a world far beyond my own. But the phone allowed me to interact with that world. I could call my friends who lived across our small town. All of our phone numbers began with the same 3 digits, 242. I could call my grandparents, both sets of who lived far outside of our town and far beyond our 919 area code in eastern North Carolina. Or much to my parents' chagrin, I could call the 1-800 or 1-900 numbers that I saw on infomercials and on TV, trying to connect with the otherworldly images that I was watching. I remember how as a child, I approached the phone with an almost ritual-like reverence. I would walk up to the family phone that hung on the wall of the kitchen over the trash can. It was chocolate brown, and the receiver was attached by a cord that seemed long, but was never quite long enough to make it all the way to the chairs around the table, so you always had to stand or sit on the floor. But there the phone hung, on the wall, like a portal to somewhere else. 7 digits to connect across town, 11 digits to connect with my grandparents. Since their area codes were different, I would write down their phone numbers to make sure I'd get them right. I would pick up the receiver from the phone and then be met by the welcoming hum of the dial tone. That perfectly pitched hum, which Pavlovianly trained me, moving me toward feelings of anticipation, hope, and excitement. What conversation was about to happen? Would they be at home or not? This was not the disenfranchised and rushed attitude of the busy signal with its beep, beep, beep. This was the dial tone. It welcomed. It waited. And if, after dialing, no one picked up, if I did miss them, I would try again, because I knew that they were there. So much caught up in a note, balanced in a tone, a dial tone, a sound that is mainly that note, an A. The sound of anticipation, hope, excitement, and connection. Connection with something beyond the world in front of me, beyond what I could see in the then and there. Connection with something beyond this world, beyond our here and now, is also why we come to worship. This is why the church creates rituals, to tune us into realities beyond ourselves. Through the rituals of the church, we are able to touch things we cannot see and interact with those things, people, and feelings that we carry with us, to remember and commemorate those who came before, those who paved the way for us, those that shaped our lives but are no longer with us. In the book of Joshua, the Israelites selected 12 stones to remember those that had crossed the river Jordan. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, the city of David, a city remembered to us every Christmas Eve to connect us to the rich salvation history. These women and men who have meant so much to our faith. We light candles to remember those that we love and have lost along the way, those who God has welcomed into perfect heavenly care and wholeness, those that God has made anew. Like the Israelites through the desert and Mary and Joseph in Bethlehem, we carry the memories of our loved ones with us as we light candles. Candles that signify the love we have for them that still burns bright in our hearts. As this sermon ends, there will be 3 chimes. As you hear them, I invite you to light a candle where you are, or to simply, either out loud or in the silences of your heart, speak the names of those that come to your mind and your heart, those you love and have lost in your life's journey. Consider the words of St. John Chrysostom. Those we love and lose are no longer where they were before. They are now wherever we are. So let us remember them today. Amen.